JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 16th of March 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So you have to check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one of course I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So a nice good recovery move to the upside. However, once again, we're getting a hold up near that 25,775 territory, the one that I kept on mentioning for quite a while. So yeah, at the moment, even if it travels a little bit higher here, still there is some still the bears should not get way too disappointed, because I mean there is a potential for here maybe to get a hold up near that 21-day EMA. As you can see here previously, it did act as a good area of resistance. So or at least this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of January. So in other words, I mean there is still a chance for this one to move back down. However, at the moment we're being very careful with that idea because excuse me, we're being very careful with that idea because well, like I said, we are currently kind of testing this hurdle, so in a way a bit of upside here could be possible, and then we'll take it from there, because maybe the third test of this downside line would be the lucky one for the bulls, because then maybe you could see a break of it. So long story short, for now, like I said, I'm aiming for maybe a bit of an up move here if we climb above this and stay above this 25,775 territory. The only thing that we did right now is just test it. So yeah, it's still kind of there. I mean, there is still kind of an opportunity here to see a decline straight away from this hurdle. However, at the moment, like I said, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside here, maybe in the near term, and then I'll take it from there. I'll see when it reaches that 21-day, if it reaches that 21-day EMA, because it's not for sure if it's going to reach that or not. But at the moment, that's what I'm aiming here for. So let's see how all this is going to play out. Yep, I can see you in the chat room here. Evo, yep, good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody else as well who is joining in. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Wednesday. Now, Shanghai Composite, very quickly on this one. So yep, everything is working out nicely according to the plan. So if you remember yesterday, I talked about this area, said that if this index rebounds somewhere from around here, again, it's very difficult for, let's say, on the Shanghai Composite here to find an exact level here, like a perfect level. But I'm always sticking to areas. Otherwise, I mean, it would be a little bit way too frustrating. In a way, I got this right, but I mean, maybe the level exactly was not the one. But as you can see here, we drifted lower. We tested that 3,074 territory. Yesterday, I drawn this arrow here. I said that maybe we could get a bit of a retracement here. Back to the upside, we got that retracement. We overcame the 3,152-53 zone, this highlighted one. I spoke about that level previously, so we overcame that area. However, as I just mentioned just a few seconds ago, that it's difficult with exact levels. So on the Shanghai Composite, so basically at the moment I would say yes, there is a potential still for this one to drift back down. Maybe it's gonna move lower here, you know, or maybe maybe it's just gonna drop back below this highlighted territory. If it does that, then yeah, I will maybe consider a move to the downside. If it stays above this area, the other thing that I'm keeping a close eye on is this steep downside resistance line, which in a way could still be, you know, in play at the moment. I mean, you can see that it's a very steep downside line. So if you're looking for some upside here, maybe at least wait for a break of this steep downside line, and then yeah, we could go maybe for a bit of a larger correction here to the upside. So that's at the moment, that's the kind of the situation here with Shanghai Composite. Not ideal, to be honest, for me. I don't like these kind of moves, but overall, if we just, let's say, you know, remove all the lines here. Actually, let me just do that, actually, because it's way overcrowded here. So if we just, like I said, stick to some of these trend lines for now, then yeah, we can see that there is still hope here for the sellers. So the bears could still come in if this index continues to trade below this downside line. However, if this steep downside line gets broken, then the next target here, well, I wouldn't say this downside line, but of course could be the case. But initially, I would just aim for that 21-day EMA here, shown as the yellow line. That could be a good area to test. And then after that, I would take it from there, because I would like to see if it actually could go a little bit higher here for a larger correction. But at the moment, let's not rush into anything. First, let's like I said, keep your eyes on this idea, this scenario, and then we will take it from there. Now, jumping into Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, so yeah, we moved nicely to the upside here as well. So nice, beautiful rebound here from that 18,278. Now, somehow Hong Kong's Hang Seng is actually trading a little bit nicer, I would say, because in terms of levels and stuff like that. So because I mean, initially I was targeting that 18,278 zone, 79 zone, so approximately around here. I said that this is going to be my next target. In the beginning of this week, I told you that I'm aiming for that level. That's the lowest point of February of 2016, or in other words, the lowest point of 2016. So we managed to test that area, rebound from it, and now we're very close to this steep downside line taken from the high of the 17th of February of this year. Now, can we get a hold up here? Now, that's of course the big question. If we can, then another decline could be possible. If we cannot, then, well, I will be leaning maybe towards a bit of a larger correction here to the upside. The reason why I'm saying correction is because we're still below this tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 28th of June 2021. So again, it's not a perfect line here, I would say, but it is a bit of a tentative one. But yeah, well, I'll keep an eye on that one. I mean, there's another one, slightly, I think, better one, somewhere around here. But it's not far from that line, than that other line. So, I mean, we could keep an eye on this one right now. But at the moment, like I said, if you're looking for some upside, then wait at least a break and wait for the daily candle to kind of to close, and the trading session to close above this downside line, and then we could go for that 21-day EMA. German index DAX. So. Yesterday stayed fractionally in the red, but I would say unchanged. And I said to you that if this 21-day EMA continues to provide good resistance, then another slide could be possible. However, what I've mentioned to you yesterday as well, that if in order for me, let's say, to maybe get a little bit more excited with the downside, I would like to see it drop below that 13,215 territory right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. If we take a look at the cash index, as we know that the U.S. equities yesterday rallied, rallied. So I mean, if the German index closed kind of slightly in negative territory here, the cash index did perform, I mean, did push higher. It did follow the US indices. So basically the cash index is currently trading at around 14,280 zone, so which is quite nice and well above, it's well above yesterday's close, and also above the 21-day EMA. So that means that, yep, potentially there could be more buyers joining in here. And again, one thing, don't forget that when we have, let's say, if we'll have a nice, opening gap here to the upside, so, well, obviously we will, there might be a potential maybe to see a bit of a gap fill. I mean, not maybe not in full, but maybe just a little bit. Of course, in ideal scenario, what I would like to see is, let's say if it opens up somewhere around that 14,300, and I think that this is where it's currently heading to on the cash index. So if it opens up somewhere around that 14,300 zone, I would like to see maybe a bit of a retracement here, maybe even a test of this 21-day EMA together with this little hurdle here, this 14,082 zone. Yeah, if it provides good support, maybe a nice rebound could be possible. So at the moment, kind of that could be the ideal scenario, but will that happen? Of course, let's wait and see, because again, the market doesn't always do what we want it to do. So at the moment, we can only try to position ourselves correctly, try to find those levels, and like I said, here at the moment, I am, even if, let's say, if we do see some sort of a corrective move lower, yes, I will consider that, but still I will remain a little bit on the positive side, because we are, like I said, because we are above this 21-day EMA already. If we continue to trade today above that 21-day EMA, then yes, like I said, I'll aim for those higher levels. Now, the only thing here with the upside you need to be a little bit on the careful side is the this right here. So this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of January of this year. So in a way, this whole move to the upside could still be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So don't kind of exclude that, that kind of scenario as well. So for now, yes, from the very short-term perspective, it is looking quite positive, I would say. However, we are in difficult times right now, so watch out for those headlines. And we are really kind of mainly headline driven right now, so news headline driven, of course. So at the moment, if everything looks kind of positive, but like just you need one headline that comes out negative, and boom, there we go. I mean, another decline, another collapse. So yeah, that's why have your stop losses in place, guys. Risk only what you can afford to lose. That's how you always need to approach this. I mean, if you can afford to lose it, you can go in. If you cannot, then just wait for that maybe a little bit more better moment or something like that. Or in general, don't risk what you cannot afford to lose, guys. The Ftse 100. So similar story here. We did get yesterday a close here slightly below zero in the negative territory. We stayed below this upside line, below this 200-day EMA, and in general, in a way, looking at this, I mean, it seems that yes, we could see maybe another decline right now here, just because we got a perfect hold up near these levels, well, near this area where I talked about previously. So this upside line, this 200-day EMA. However, of course, the rally in the U.S. equities yesterday did kind of help out a lot of European cash indices, and looking at the Ftse right now, we are pushing nicely to the upside. So we're currently sitting at around 7,285 zone. So yep, we are even above this level that I talked about previously. So this level here, the 7,260, if we're gonna stay above it, I'm aiming for some higher levels, slightly higher levels. The only issue I have here is this downside line, guys. This downside line taken from the high of the 10th of February. So if we are looking for a possible kind of, like I said, move here lower, then well, wait for, like I said, wait for a test of this downside line to see maybe if, you know, if the index struggles to move higher above this. But at the moment, yes, we are above this 7,260 zone. We could go a little bit higher here, to be honest. But like I said, and by the way, look at this. I mean, we have the 100-day EMA also actually coming in nicely here. So in general, what could happen here, and given that sometimes the index does respect that 100-day EMA, let's see if we can push, let's say, a little bit more to the upside here, and then test that 100-day EMA, where we could also test this downside line, and maybe this is where the point where, I mean, it could reverse back down. Let's say if it struggles to overcome this, and then yeah, we could see another decline, another move to the downside. But if this downside line gets broken, certainly, well, I mean, I don't need to explain this to you guys, and we could see maybe a bit of a push higher. So the S&P 500. So guys, okay, yesterday the U.S. markets did perform quite well. Initially, we saw a bit of a decline, but it quickly kind of picked up, and there we go. We pushed higher. I talked about the S&P previously, and I said that, to be honest, as long as it stays in this area here, I'm just observing this one, because again, it's not perfect here. It's not. I don't like these. You know, it's good that yeah, we pushed a little bit higher here, but still the downside scenario remains valid, because we are kind of still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 4th of January. That said, we need, in order for me to go lower, I need to see at least a push below this 4,158 territory right here, which is currently the lowest point of March still. So yeah, and then we could go for that lowest point of February, near the 4,114.15 zone, around here somewhere. And if that gets cleared, now guess what? I mean, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So at the moment, like I said, I'm just watching this. The cash index is also pushing nicely to the upside, of course. 4,295. This is where we are at currently. So we're getting closer to this downside line. But if this downside line gets broken and we see a nice good push higher, I will go to the upside, certainly. But what I'll be very careful here with this 200-day EMA, because as you can see here, we did recently test that 200-day EMA. It did act as a nice area of resistance. Can it go higher? Well, that's going to be another good question here. For now, I would say it this way. If you're looking for some upside, wait at least for a break of this downside line and a push above this 21-day EMA, of course. Of course, some of you might not, let's say, wait for this and maybe start entering somewhere around here. Let me just put this level, what I'm talking about here. There we go. So maybe this one, it could be an attractive one, and I wouldn't blame you for that, because it does look an attractive level, because here, for example, this is the lowest point of October 2021. This is 4,279 zone, but to be honest, we are already above that level, so I'm kind of already post factum already. So yeah, and it's, yeah, like I said, I will aim for the upside here, but I'll be very careful near that 21-day EMA, near that downside line, and yeah, and if that gets broken, then we could see a nice good push higher. But as I said, I'll be very careful near that 200-day EMA. DXY, the dollar index. So a bit of a consolidation here, to be honest. It looks like a flag, it looks like a bullish flag here. So yeah, nothing major. I'm still kind of looking, you know, towards that psychological 100 level. So in a way, at the moment, I mean, looking at this picture, I mean, some of you maybe are hoping for a double top here. If that would be the case, then let's say I would still need to see a drop below the so-called neckline, which currently is positioned somewhere around here near that 97.80 zone. And if we do drop below this area, then we'll, like I said, I will go for maybe a larger correction here to the downside. But at the moment, like I said, it could be forming also a potential bullish flag here. Maybe on a 4-hour chart, it looks better a little bit. Let me just not really, but I would say it looks something like a bit of like consolidation here. So yeah, at the moment, I mean, we could draw something like this. We can, you know, improvise as much as we want here, but yeah, so it could be seen also like a falling wedge maybe, and if it is a falling wedge as well, then, you know, it just kind of supports the idea of, you know, a possible move to the upside. However, until we get that clear break, we cannot really, you know, get excited with the upside, because in a way, if it's gonna, let's put it this way, if it is a falling wedge, then it can still kind of, you know, move sideways here or slightly to the downside here, and yeah, it could, you know, take out a lot of you who have very tight stop losses, or even we have seen such scenarios where, for example, it could shoot up quickly to the downside, shoot down to the shoot down very quickly here, not shoot up, but shoot down, and make a false, let's say, breakout, you know, take out a lot of traders who are long here, and then, you know, reverse and push higher. So we've seen such scenarios happening as well, so be very careful. However, probably for me the safer option is still to wait for a push above that 99.42 level here. This will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in, so keep that in mind. Gold. Gold, of course, is drifting lower. We have the equities rising, so that's all nice and dandy there. But to be honest, look at this. Look at this drop. I mean, this has been quite a significant drop, guys. And and we have already, I think, yeah, we did the 50% already. It seems like we're aiming for that 61.8% retracement on the Fibonacci here. Will we get that? We'll just have to wait and see. At the moment, you can see that today we had a bit of a recovery, but it got held here by that 50% level here on the Fibonacci. And yeah, at the moment, to be honest, if it's going to stay below that 50, then I will go for that 61.8, which is roughly around that 1890 zone. But to be honest, looking at this in general, I mean, this is wow. And also, when I talked about this commodity previously, I said that wait for a break of this upside line in order to go for some lower levels. Well, we got that, to be honest, and we stayed below it. So, I mean, again, at the moment, it's very, very difficult. It's this is also something that is very highly news driven, so, you know, be very careful with this. And for now, I'm leaning towards the downside a little bit, but I have this like element of the doubt in me that, you know, we might see something like a push higher a little bit here, maybe a test of that 21-day EMA from the underneath, and then, you know, another decline like this could be possible. So let's see if this is going to be the case. At the moment, I am, like I said, I'm not really liking this as well, because this is like very, like I said, difficult here at the moment. So, but in general, if we just apply cold, you know, technical analysis here, just then yeah, at the moment it's leaning towards the downside. And of course, if DXY pops higher, then, well, we could see maybe, you know, this, depending on the situation, of course, we could see gold drifting a little bit lower. WTI oil bouncing off this upside line, or I would say somewhat bouncing off this upside line, because it did break it before, and we broke this upside line, and we drifted lower, but we kind of, it's not a, let's say, a perfect upful rebound here. It's just kind of rebounding from the area. So in other words, if you're looking for some upside, then basically for now, keep your eyes on that 21-day EMA. If we climb back above it, then yes, we'll go for some higher levels. We'll go for, you know, and especially if we, let's say, if we climb back above the 104 territory right there, then yes, we will. I will aim for the upside again. But at the moment, I'm just we're kind of stuck in limbo, I'd say. It's not really neither. It's neither games. It's neither, you know, neither the bull or the bear game here. So if we're looking for some downside, a drop below yesterday's low would be needed, which is roughly around that 93.56 territory, and then we'll go for lower levels. But at the moment, if it stays here, I'm just observing this. I mean, this is not really perfect for me here. So again, sometimes we have to just wait these out. Bitcoin very quickly before I run out of time. I can see that, oh yeah, I spent a little bit too much time on the indices, but to be honest, we had a nice beautiful shoot here to the upside, but just proved again that it seems that it's not ready yet to go higher. So at the moment I'm just observing this. So yeah, it's if it stays above that 21-day EMA, maybe there could be a bit of hope. However, we could see a repetition of the scenario here, the 9th and the 10th of March. Jumping into AUD USD, quick beautiful rebound here. So yeah, nicely done here. We can remove this downside line, to be honest, and at the moment it's pretty straightforward. As long as it stays above this upside line, yes, I'll aim for the upside. My only problem here right now is that we are below all of the EMAs already, so that's kind of raising a few concerns. So if you're looking for some downside, at least wait for a drop below yesterday's low near the 0.7165 level, and then we could go and aim for that 0.1795 level. USD CAD, very quickly on this one. This is a mess. Let me remove all the drawings here and start fresh, because to be honest, I think I need to minimize here a few levels, the amount of levels that I have here. So if you're looking for some upside, then I would need to see a nice reversal here from that 21-day EMA, and then I'll go for the upside, because I'm going to keep it a little bit more simple on this one, because as long as it stays above that 21-day EMA, yes, I'll aim for the upside. If it starts falling below the 200-day EMA, I'll consider a move to the downside. So all this area for me will be just nothing, and I'll just be observing the price action. GBP USD, very quickly on this. So also nice recovery here a little bit, but still a bit below this downside line. So in other words, if we remain below this downside line, I will continue aiming lower. For me to go higher, I would prefer actually now to see a push above this 1.3195 level here, and then I will maybe consider a move to the upside. GBP Aussie, so beautiful reversal here from this area, this highlighted territory. I talked about this yesterday, guys, and in general, I mean from the beginning of this week when I was covering GBP Aussie. I said, keep your eyes on this hurdle, and if it holds, yep, another slide could be possible. Well, I mean, we had a false breakout here, we didn't stay above it, and boom, there we go. We're having another drift to the downside. So far, so good. It's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen further here, but yeah, I'm really interested if we're not going to end up, having something of a bit of a range here, I would say, but oh, sorry, not a range, a rising channel here, which also could be, seen as somewhat of a maybe of a bearish flag overall here, but again, too early for that. Euro NZD, very quickly on that. So beautiful test of that 38.2. I talked about this pair previously. Beautiful 38.2. We tested that. We got a hold up, and now we're drifting back down. So in a way, if you're looking for some lower levels, I mean, there is a possibility to see that right now and move to the downside. But this steep upside line, I would like to see a break below it first, and then I would go for the downside. And finally, Euro USD, also it did get a nice move here yesterday to the upside, but again, with this 1.10 zone, the psychological 1.10 zone did do its job and did provide good resistance. So in other words, as long as it stays below that 1.10 zone, there is still, and below this downside line, of course, there is still hope for the bears to see this one drifting lower. So keep that in mind. For now, like I said, if you're looking for the upside, for me, pretty straightforward. Break of this downside line and a push above the 1.1121 zone, something like that here. If that, I need to see a push above that area, and then yeah, I will go for slightly higher levels. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time here, your views, your likes, your comments, guys. I really do. So thank you for that. If you wanna catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.